Operation Beleaguer was a military operation carried out under the United States Marine Corps in 1945 to 1949. 50,000 Marines were tasked with overseeing the return and repatriation of 600,000 Japanese and Koreans and Imperial Japanese troops that remained in China after the end of the Second World War and Second Sino-Japanese War. But before we can go more into depth about Operation Beleaguer, we need to go back to the end of World War II. As the Second World War drew to a close in 1945, Japan was on the edge of defeat. Hundreds of thousands of Japanese units remained in China. The alliance between the Communists and the Kuomintang Nationalists, which was called the Second Chinese United Front, began to fall apart due to the fact that China was no longer under threat of Japanese invasion. The split was made inevitable after the atomic bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Now that Japan had been defeated, hundreds of thousands of Japanese troops remained in China, and the renewed Chinese Civil War was only going to complicate things. This led to the creation of Operation Beleaguer under Major General Keller Iraqi. Hebei province in northern China was the first to begin evacuating in September of 1945. On October 11th, 50,000 Japanese were captured at Tianjin. On October 30th, 1945, all 1st Marine Divisions had landed in Hebei to oversee the return of the Japanese garrisons. The Communists in the region began sabotaging railroads and attacking American trains heading to Tianjin. As soon as the surrender of the Japanese garrison was accepted, the 29th Marine Division traveled to Yantai. The situation in Shandong was way worse than it was in Hebei. Communists controlled the province and were less friendly to American forces. When the Marines tried to dock in Yantai, they discovered the Communists had installed their own mayor, who presented withdrawal terms that were unacceptable to the Americans. After this, the Marines were ordered to relocate to Qingdao, the only friendly city in Shandong. When they landed, they were met with streets lined with people cheering and waving flags. There were three main skirmishes between American forces and Communists during Operation Beleaguer. First was the Guye incident, in which the 7th Marine Regiment exchanged fire with Communist forces near Guye village. There was the Bedahe and Anping skirmish, in which 7 Marines were captured by Communist forces, but returned to the United States after the United States was forced to apologize for invading a liberated area. Finally, the Jinhae skirmish, when 350 Communist soldiers made a coordinated attack on the village of Jinhae after stealing ammunition from the Marines' ammunition dump. In total, 13 Americans died and 43 Americans were injured during Operation Beleaguer. In 1946, General Rocky was replaced by General Samuel L. Howard, who would oversee the withdrawal of the operation. The Marines were withdrawn from Hebei province in May of 1947. After this, all efforts were focused on evacuating any Americans and foreign nationals in Qingdao. Over the course of the operation, 600,000 Japanese and Koreans were repatriated back to their home nations. After Operation Beleaguer and the withdrawal of Japanese units and American Marines, the Chinese Civil War would consume the entirety of China. The Kuomintang would retreat to Taiwan, and China would become a communist dictatorship.